In this video, we're going to be talking about Libra moon natally in the chart and what this means for you if you have this placement. And with that being said, let's start by talking about what the moon represents in astrology. The moon rules Cancer, and Cancer is all about emotions. It's also about intuition and foundations, resources that we depend on. And that's why it rules family and it rules our home life. It rules the home. And so the moon really indicates those things in our chart as well. And most importantly, it shows what our emotional security comes from and the resource that we depend on. And when the moon is in Libra, which is the sign of relationships and it's the sign of other people, this placement indicates somebody who feels most comfortable when sharing interpersonal emotional responsibility with other people. So one person taking care of the other and vice versa. And with this placement, you tend to root yourself on others that you intuitively feel that you can depend on. And you tend to make them into your foundation. Because the moon shows roots. It rules the fourth house, which is the bottommost house in the chart. And it rules Cancer, which is the bottommost sign in the zodiac wheel. And it's all about foundations and roots. So when the moon is in Libra, this shows somebody that gets very rooted to a significant other or to a significant people in their lives. Now, the other thing about this placement is that the moon is very comfortable in Libra because Libra is the fourth sign from the sign of the moon. So this is the fourth from the fourth house, in other words, as well. And this is why, this placement shows a very comfortable moon. And also, when it's in Libra, it's in the 10th from the 10th house as well. If you count it backwards, I guess. And, this shows that there's a fluctuation between comfort and responsibility that comes from this placement. Because Libra is all about balance. And so at times, this moon is very comfortable. But at other times, you find yourself with a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, taking care of the emotional needs of other people. That's often a factor of this placement, a trait, I should say, is that these people often find themselves working hard, taking care of others at times equally as being taken care of themselves. Libra is all about balance. So there's also an emotional need for balance. And when you don't have balance in your life, with this placement, this is when you tend to experience, mental non-well-being and stress and health issues. So wherever there's not balance in your life, if you are finding, difficulty finding well-being, then it's probably from that lack of balance, whether it's social, interpersonal balance, whether it is, health habits, whether it is environmental balance, having a clean environment, balance of time and work and with family. All those kind of things play an important role in this placement's lifestyle and its well-being. And you can probably notice times in your life where you've felt the lowest were when things were really out of balance, especially regarding others in your life and relationships. Now, a side note about this placement is that, Libra being the opposite sign of Aries, which is all about the self. Aries is all about individuality and doing things alone. With this placement of the moon being here, this shows somebody that is not good at handling emotions on their own. unless that is an element of them having to find balance. Because, of course, sometimes doing things on our own can actually be the factor that we need to find balance. That's the only time that they benefit from handling emotions on their own. But for the most part, they have this need to offload the weight of their emotions onto someone else special and somebody that they can depend on, somebody that's significant, a significant other, whether that's a friend or a romantic partner, or it could be a family member that's close to them, anybody that has a tie to them. So, in addition, the moon is all about privacy because it rules the fourth house and the sign Cancer. And Cancer is about emotions and private situations. It's about our home lives. So when the moon is here in the sign of other people, it shows somebody that likes to share something private with somebody else. And this is actually when they feel the most secure. Now, another trait of these individuals that have this placement is that they are very harmonious people. And they have an emotional need for agreement and for balance and for reciprocity as well, because Libra is all about sociability and reciprocation. So when it comes to relationships, you can't be in a relationship with somebody that doesn't have importance to reciprocating. Somebody that doesn't give importance to reciprocity. Like that will just create emotional frustrations and imbalance. You need somebody that's always going to acknowledge and react to your actions with an equal give and take in some way or form. Even if it's not exactly the same things that you do, they have a reaction. So now the other thing about this placement is, since the moon shows resources and it's in Libra, which is ruled by Venus, this is a favorable place for the moon in this sense of resources as well, because they always have the resources they need with this placement, because they tend to utilize others as a resource. And they have access to the resources of others because you have close ties and close relationships. You're in a position to ask things from many people that depend on you and that you depend on as well. Now, the moon is exalted in the sign of Venus, Taurus. And so in Libra, with this Venus connection, this is such a strong trait for the moon as well. Because the moon likes to have resources. That's what gives security. And the moon is all about self-preservation. It rules Cancer, the crab. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is, the fact that the moon is very comfortable in Libra, though sometimes it goes through periods of intense responsibility, because you tend to work hard to take care of the needs of others as if they're your own. And you expect others to do the same for you. And there's a lot of work that goes into maintaining relationships too that you do. And you just do it from an emotional need or an emotional standpoint. Now, since Libra is the 10th sign from Capricorn, or the 7th house can be considered, this house of Libra, and it is the 10th from the 10th house. And the 10th is all about importance. It's all about status. This placement shows that you're well integrated into society or into your network. So you could be somebody of importance, or that has access to important resources through others. But in general, with the connection to the fourth house as well, this placement shows that you're a really important person in some way, shape, or form. Or you play that role to someone in your life. And you carry a lot of weight and responsibility on your shoulders. And a lot of times it comes in the form of emotional baggage of other people. So this spiritually makes you, energetically it creates this effect of importance. You have a lot of responsibility on you, and so astrologically speaking, you're an important person when you have this placement, and like people really depend on you. This place of the moon shows strong relationships and a strong dynamic of comfort, and it also indicates that you make others comfortable as well. The moon is about comfort, and when it's in the sign of Libra, which is all about sociability and the perspectives of other people and how other people act and feel, you know, people tend to get more relaxed around you, or more sedated, or just they get easy around you. Now, the downside of this placement is the fact that it does go through periods of intense responsibility, but also sometimes you can become so comfortable in relationships that you tend to stick around even in toxic circumstances. And there's this tendency for codependency. And, you know, as a result, like you just tend to stick around or get really attached to the interpersonal dynamics that you're a part of. But it's all a part of balance. You just have this focus on trying to level things out. You never really bail out on other people. And, you know, as a result of your tenacity, the benefit of that is that you have something extremely dependable in terms of relationships, which is what matters most to you and to your sense of security. So despite sometimes sticking around in the low periods or in toxic situations, you still reap both the good and the bad of significant others that you have ties to. So you have a support net. Because, you know, relationships can be toxic, or a dynamic can be toxic, but there's always something that is good that comes from having somebody else. Like no one is all bad, if that makes any sense. And as a result of you sticking around for others, you have a lot of loyalty. And you can call upon, you know, certain people at any time, and they will be able to take care of you, if that makes any sense, because of just the strength of the ties that you keep with others. No matter the good or the bad, like you never really bail on people. So with that being said, the final note that I have about this placement is that your sense of comfort and also your relationships go through a lot of emotional fluctuations, because the moon is about emotions and the sign Libra is about relationships. And it's almost like a seesaw effect, where not only do you take care of other people in an alternating fashion, so you do something and then it's my turn and then your turn and then my turn, but also the type of, you know, things that can go through is emotional fluctuations. So there can be ups and downs, and you know, that's because Libra is all about balance, fairness, and justice. So you really get tied to other people. If I had to sum this placement up in one sentence, it just shows somebody who likes to share emotional responsibility with others, and that's how they feel the most secure. So with that being said, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this video was insightful and that it resonated. And if you enjoyed or you saw yourself in any way in this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to this channel for more content. Other than that, I will talk to you guys sometime soon in another video. Peace.